Today we're going to talk about the research that we've conducted into the retail space. We analyzed over 100 million calls that have come into our customer base that were trapped and analyzed using our fraud detection system. In the retail world, there are a couple of risk factors that are very specific to you. The first being customer service. That customer service representative's job is to provide a great customer experience. Their job is not to detect fraud. Additionally, retailers often support business accounts. With these business accounts, just knowing the person's name who had filed the account and the business that they're representing is enough to authenticate yourself to the retailer. Retailers are often also dealing with fensible goods, electronics, phones, and can easily be resold on eBay. The first sort of fraud that a retailer most often faces is what's called CardNotPresent Fraud. It's where a customer calls in, they aren't able to present the card, and this obviously makes things easy for fraudsters who have purchased credit card numbers. When attackers do this, the impact to the retail merchant is lost merchandise. What you're going to lose is whatever goods they were able to convince you that they wanted to purchase. You will never regain those. The retailer has to ship these orders, and so oftentimes there's shipping and handling, processing charges. Further, there's a loss of reputation. When the consumer sees this, they will dispute that charge, and you're going to lose reputation with that customer. They may choose to not ever do business with that retailer ever again, depending on what sort of agreements you've got with your credit card provider. You will lose the chargeback. Oftentimes there's fees and penalties that are associated with chargeback. An additional type of attack that retailers are dealing with is business account takeover. Saying you're John Smith with Acme Corporation is often enough to then go ahead and make a purchase. In this scenario, the attacker would make a purchase and have those goods delivered, and the retailer may not bill that company back for another 30 days. Once a fraudster makes a fraudulent purchase, they have to acquire the goods. There's a couple of different ways that attackers are able to do this. One is quite simply you receive a tracking number from the retailer, and through the shipping company's web interface, you go in and you change the destination address. In-store pickup is often used by fraudsters. They place a fraudulent order. They give the customer support representative their zip code where they can find the nearest store. They stop by the store, they pick up the goods. And the third scenario we see is what's called reshipping. This is a scenario where there's basically an intermediary, someone who signs up to have goods delivered to their home and then offers to reship those goods back to the fraudster. And so when we dig into some of the statistics and what we've seen, phone fraud is up by 30% since 2014. In the retail sector specifically, about 1 in every 1,000 calls is fraud. That's twice what an average call center deals with. If we look a little bit about the losses across our retail customers, without protection from our product would be exposed to about 17 cents per call. The average value of a fraudulent order is about 65 cents per call. And if we look at the total fraud exposure, our customers on average have a fraud exposure of about $2.40 per call. What this is what is the average amount of in-store credit or business account credit that would be offered to these callers? About $2.40 for every call is the total value that could be exposed if the fraudster was able to compromise every cent of that. A little more detail about the phone printing technology. The way that works is we extract 147 audio features from the phone call. And these are things that are basically imperceptible to the human ear, but are detectable using digital signal processing. So these are things that we can identify like packet loss that occurs, say, in a VoIP conversation. And with 147 different types of characteristics like this, we're able to develop a phone print that uniquely identifies a device that is called into an environment. If that device ever calls back, we can guarantee that it's the same device. So this helps us stop repeat fraud. Additionally, we can identify the location, where in the world the call came from, type of service or type of device is being used to make the call. And if those things don't match what's being reported, say in the caller ID, we can assign a risk level to the call, even though we have never seen fraud being perpetrated by that phone print before.
Thanks, everyone.